when you came up with the concept, did you see yourself 10 years later having 70 cities and
We always planned on this growth trajectory, right? So the plan of opening cities and opening more and using the money, that was always the plan. And when I quit my job to run a food tour, my parents weren't very impressed. They didn't know what one was, and they were kind of looking at us like, why would you quit your job? What I tried to explain to them, and what me and Nico both understood, is we want to make a global food tour company, something very exciting, something that would be all over the place. Whether or not it'd be 70 cities or 7 cities, we didn't go that far. But we didn't know that the product would work in so many places. And here's the point. Everybody knew it would work in Paris, Rome, London, those key cities. But only when we started launching in places like Austin or Charleston or Bologna or these smaller cities, that's when we realized we're onto something.
Welcome to the Best Part of Travel podcast, brought to you by Arival, where we take you inside the business of destination experiences. I'm Janelle Visser, and I'm here with Steve and Joyce.
Hi.
And today, we're going to be spilling some secrets as we try to uncover the ingredients to successfully growing a multi-location tour company with the co-founders of Secret Food Tours. So, to kick things off, Steven, we're talking about food. So, what's the most unexpectedly delicious food you've tried while traveling?
Oh, I would say fresh sea urchin right from the ocean.
Okay, tell me more.
I had the pleasure of being at this resort in Indonesia last year after the Web and Travel Conference. And one of the local guides at the resort would do this thing where they would go out into the ocean and help basically guide you on how to collect sea urchins.
Yeah.
And you have scissors and you have to cut the spines off and stuff like that. And you'd collect these sea urchins and bring them back to the beach. And then he would cut them open, squeeze lime juice and like hot peppers, diced up hot peppers and onion, put it in like inside the shell with the sea urchin. And then you would just scoop it out with a spoon and eat it fresh right out of the shell. And at first I was like, ew. But oh my gosh, it is so good. It's like tasting the ocean. Like it's so fresh and it's savory and it's just got that hint of fishiness to it, but not overwhelming. It was really delicious. I was absolutely shocked. And there were a couple of kids there. And at first they were like, no, we don't want to eat this. Ew, yuck. And then they tried it and they were like, wow, that's really good. And then they like went out with the guide and collected some more sea urchins and they were like eating sea urchins all afternoon. It was really cute, but it was, that was so unexpected. I've had uni, that's the Japanese name for it. I've had uni like on sushi, like on with rice or whatever, but it's never fresh like that.
Yeah.
That was literally right out of the ocean.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I have had it in Japan fresh. Up north in Hokkaido, there's this little seaside town where you can get basically like a $15 bowl of totally fresh seafood. So fresh that when you poke it with a chopstick, it wiggles because it's very freshly it's very freshly prepared.
How about you? What's your unexpected food discovery?
I have to say that mine, at least the most recent one I can think of, is probably haggis. So I was not
That was my number 2.
I was not expecting to like haggis. I was like, we're in Scotland. I'm committed to trying haggis because it's a thing, but I am not expecting to like it. And we had haggis on that food tour. Haggis, what was it called? Haggis, neeps, and tatties?
Tats, yeah.
Neeps and tats.
Yeah.
It was like turnips and potatoes and haggis. And it was so good. I couldn't stop eating it. I was very unexpectedly surprised that it was actually delicious. So I was like totally resolved to try it and be super disgusted, but do it for the plot.
Yeah. Do it for the gram. I'm pretty sure we took photos of that.
But it was really good. So yeah, that was an unexpected food surprise. For sure. So we're actually going to be talking with the founders of the company that we did that tour with, that secret food tour in Edinburgh. But first, a message from our sponsors.
Protect Group offers a service called Refund Protect. The way it works is that an operator offers Refund Protect at the time of checkout for an extra fee, usually around 10% of the ticket price. If the guest can't go because of some unforeseen circumstance, they request a refund through Refund Protect and they get 100% of their money back. The best part is the operator keeps 100% of their revenue and they make a little extra. So to find out more, go to protect.group/bestpartoftravel.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about secret food tours. We're talking 2 secret food tours, but we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about culinary experiences and we're talking about growth. So, why are we talking about this? Let's start there.
Yeah, culinary food tours is one of the fastest growing categories of tour types, right? That's based on our Arival data. That's based on what we see on Viator, Get Your Guide, all of the main OTAs. People love food tours, right? When you're exploring a destination, one of the things that you want to experience, what brings you closer to that culture, and what is in most places an important part of the cultural experience is that food. And so that's why we're talking about it, because it's becoming really popular, and especially with young people, younger travelers, they want that immersive experience, and food is very much part of that immersive experience in a destination.
Yeah, and Airbnb recently relaunched experiences, and they're focusing on several categories, and top of the list is food, culinary experiences, because they've done research as well and found this is what people want now when they're looking for experiences when they're traveling. They want food and drink related experiences. When we were in Valencia for
Mhm.
Arrival, I met a few different food tour operators, and one of them was Kyra from Devour Tours. I asked her why is culinary tourism getting so popular, and she basically said everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs
Mhm.
to eat on their trip. And so if you've
Yeah.
got to eat anyway, why not go on a food tour with someone who knows the local things? And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think there's definitely a reason that this is catching on. And as people are learning this is a thing, it's becoming more of a thing because now
Mhm.
there's an awareness about the category for sure.
Yeah. And are we calling it food tours? Are we calling it culinary tours? I don't think we've actually nailed that down yet. I think it's referred to as a variety of different things. And they even talk about it in the interview a little bit.
Yeah. And that's a good point because we've got food tours, but we've also, under this umbrella of culinary, there's also wine tours, there's beer tours, brewery
Mhm.
tours. We did a gin tour.
Hmm.
When I was in Geneva on my last trip, I did a chocolate tour. So it was like food, but specifically chocolate.
Mhm.
And so
We
I
did the
feel like
donut tour.
yeah, the donut tour, underground donut tours. I feel like
Yeah,
these things all fall under this umbrella that we're
of
talking
culinary.
about
Yeah.
of culinary, of things that enjoy,
Consume.
consume. Yeah. So, yeah, culinary experiences, maybe. I met another interesting person in Valencia. His name is David Mora. He's from the Basque Culinary Institute. And so he approaches culinary tourism from more of an academic perspective. So we had a really interesting conversation about that. And one of the things he mentioned is it's not just about the food, but also the social aspects of the experience. So when you travel to a new place, you taste the food, but also you want to meet people and you want to have a social experience with locals. And in most cultures, that type of thing happens with some kind of food. So the food is a part
Mm,
of that social integration that you have when you have a real local culinary social experience.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into it. We are going to be talking with the co-founders of Secret Food Tours, and Secret Food Tours is one of many culinary experience, food tour, whatever category we want to call it, companies that has grown. They've expanded quite rapidly over the last few years. And so we had the chance to sit down with Ollie, and Nico, who are the co-founders, business partners of Secret Food Tours, and talk about their story and talk about their growth path and journey and all of that. So let's get into it.
So, first question, how did you meet?
In London, we met in a pub called the Drunken Monkey.
The Chunky Monkey?
No, the Drunken Monkey.
Oh, the
Oh, the drunken one. That's a
Drunken
little
monkey.
more on.
Yeah, the Drunken Monkey, which doesn't exist anymore. It's in Shoreditch. We met in a pub, and Nico was, he had a business in tech business, and I was working in marketing, and we both were
The
disillusioned.
consultancy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we both were a bit disillusioned with our businesses, and we decided that we wanted to create different events. Nico wanted to go back to Paris. I wanted to stay in London, and we decided to try a thing called food tours.
And what year was that?
2014,
13, yeah.
13, 14, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Secret Food Tours was born
Well,
in the Drunken Monkey in Shoreditch?
well, the full story is we'd never been on a food tour before. We never done it. And we just decided to create a tour the way that we would want to create a food tour. So I had the idea to do mine like a Londoner, which would go to lots of pubs, go to markets like Borough Market, try different local stuff. Whereas Nico created his a bit like a Parisian, which I'll let him
Yeah,
explain.
so in Paris, the model was a bit different, where we don't go to different restaurants, but we go to a baker, and we buy some bread, we go to a cheesemonger, we go to a butcher, and we do like a shopping. And at the end, we eat everything together, the bread with the meat, with the wine, the cheese, in a tasting venue. So it's a bit different than going to a different restaurant and eat every time.
So you're
Yeah,
building the
and so-
meal as you go.
And so I actually did this tour in Paris,
Right.
and it was super cool because I've done a bunch of food tours, and I know the usual style by now. And then I did the Paris one, which is what he's describing, where you go shopping and you have a guide that takes you along and takes you to the best place to buy bread and the best place to get cheese, and then you have a picnic in a secret place.
And the idea is to do like a local Parisian will do. That's what we do. We go to buy some cheese, some bread, and some wine, and that's what we're gonna eat on Friday night.
And do you find that when you create these tours in other cities, are you creating them the same way, like trying to duplicate a local experience for the travelers, so they're
Exactly.
eating the way that a local would?
So
and maybe share something from another destination that might be.
Yeah, so we learned from that experience that, we got to create it how a local would create it. So as a Londoner, I created it like a Londoner. As a Parisian, he created it like a Parisian. So when we opened our next place in Italy, we made sure we hired an Italian to show us how an Italian would eat. And then we created the model based on that. So it was very much like a local who shows us around, and we know how to set up the tour in terms of economics and structure. But the local would tell us where the best places to eat and what to do.
So it's local led.
Local led,
Is
always
it-
authentic, always different. There is no cookie cutter model apart from we always have a secret dish and a secret location, and that's why we're called secret food tours. And you only find those out on the day.
So you have grown quite a bit since you had this original idea and you built the couple of original tours. So what's the secret? What's the secret to Secret Food Tours' rapid growth?
We do have like a great team. At the very beginning, Oli and I opened all the city ourselves, going to a new city, hiring local guides. But now we build a team of people who are going to be able to expand new city for us. And we got such a great team. They're passionate about food. They know how to run a food tour. And every time, every new city, we work with local guides to be sure the tour is authentic and really match the local culture.
So how many cities are you in now?
We're in about 75.
75.
We're growing about 30 cities a year.
Wow.
So originally, all of the money that we invested, we reinvested and reinvested and reinvested. So it took us quite a while to build up momentum. And then, of course, we had the pandemic where everything was smashed apart. And then we had to rebuild everything again. But we rebuilt it. Nico, he's very techy, can build his own tech system. So we rebuilt a system that is designed to manage the guides, where to go, what to do, reviews. and we utilize that tech system in order to go even faster and grow better and more efficiently.
So you've developed a tech platform that allows you to scale and to bring on cities very quickly. How many cities is enough?
It's not really about enough. It's about the demand is growing. With cities that weren't popular 10 years ago are now becoming popular. The industry is growing as a whole. We're very much believing that we are a big part of the industry, but the pie is so much bigger than before. So we're helping to expand the industry. When someone has a good time on one food tour, they'll go on another one. So the more good food tours there are globally, the better it is for everyone. So we're very supportive of other food tours as well.
I like that you used a food-themed metaphor for that. Is it a pizza pie or an apple pie?
It depends on the country, I guess, if you can choose. We do believe in supporting other people and growing. We do believe that the industry is a really exciting place, and we do see food tours as a continued growth. Its growth trajectory is only going to be more positive. That being said, we don't want to open literally everywhere. We do analyze where we're going to go, what we're going to do, where we're going to put our resources, our time, energy. It's time and energy and money, and we don't want to waste it.
Yeah. Are you finding that you're having guides come to you and be like, "Hey, we think this city would be great for a food tour. I'd love to run that food tour, but I don't want to do it myself. I'd like to partner with secret food tours to do." Is that a thing?
Very often. Sometimes we do it with our team, our current guides, and they can become a manager in a new city. Sometimes we decide the city ourselves. We look at lots of different metrics to pick the cities, and it's ongoing work on looking at what the market is doing in all those cities, all those regions. Like we reopened Asia quite late after the COVID, but now it's a very fast-growing area for us. US reopened after COVID much quicker because some cities didn't even close. So we look at what's going on everywhere all the time.
Yeah. What's your fastest growing region, do you think?
Well, we launched Copenhagen recently, and that's doing very well. But Asia this year is booming compared to other areas.
And why is that? Why is Asia? Is it inbound travelers coming to Asia? Is it local domestic?
It's inbound travelers. I think Asia opened up later for COVID. I think people, let's just take the American customers. They started traveling within the US after COVID, and then maybe they went to Europe, and then maybe they did their Euro trip, and maybe they want to go to Asia. That's one reason. There are other reasons as well. But I would say we tend not to think about it regional growth. We just want to kind of open up in enough cities that no matter where the trends are, we're going to be ahead of the trends. And we can even change the trends of the food. So if things become more vegan or more vegetables or whatever, we can, to some extent, manipulate or change the product in order to suit the local taste and to suit the customer's taste. We want to be authentic and be original, but if we're going to put food that people don't want, that doesn't matter,
So who are your customers?
Yeah.
You talk about opening in a new region. Are you looking at the customers of that region, or who are your customers for these types of tours?
It's mostly people from English-speaking country, US, Canada, Australia, UK, then a little bit of European and Asian, but mostly English-speaking countries.
Yeah, the US is the biggest market for us, both internally and domestically in terms of traveling to different destinations. But that makes sense because there's more North Americans who speak English than any other part of the world. But we are seeing slowly that French, German, Israelis, Filipinos, these people are also coming on our tour. So I think as an industry, people do ask if we're going to do our tours in Spanish, for example. I don't think the market's quite there yet, but at some point, hopefully, we will be able to do tours in Spanish. It's not to say that people who speak Spanish wouldn't do a food tour. It's just they don't know what they are, and educating the market is quite a complicated, difficult thing. And there are, a couple of billion people that speak English. So at the moment, we're focusing on that.
So you bring up an interesting point that Spanish people may not know what a food tour is. Do you find that it's a very kind of Anglo-centric concept, the food tour?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what a food tour was when we started. I mean, we just came up with an idea. Basically, the idea was that we wanted to show people food in a city. We thought that was a cool idea. We didn't know it was called a food tour. We didn't know really what a food tour was. And only when we made the product and the concept, did we think, oh, this is a food tour. What should we call it? Let's find a name. Let's call it Secret Food Tours. We made sure we didn't call it like Taste of London or something like that because we already were in Paris and London.
Right.
So we wanted to make
You
a
don't want to
name that
limit
was
yourself.
generic.
Yeah, yeah.
And we thought Secret Food Tours was great because we wanted to add some secret elements, secret dishes, secret things, only the locals know about it. And that was very important to us at the time. So I think it was a great name. Actually, Nico came up with the name, which I think
Bravo.
was great.
Bravo.
I didn't come up with anything secret.
Secret, yeah. So,
But it
yeah.
was like, okay, that's a great name, but what's secret about it?
Yeah, so then we had to brainstorm. It's a bit of in reverse. So we had to then brainstorm let's make some things secret. I mean, we did have a few other names in mind, but it just jumped out and it's memorable. I mean, there aren't many tours or that you can kind of remember their names easily. And, I don't think that was necessarily done deliberately in the sense that we thought, oh, one day we're going to have 70 cities. But we did obviously think about it from a branding perspective.
Interesting you bring that up. So when you came up with the concept, did you see yourself in, because that was 2013, 2014, did you see yourself 10 years later having 70 cities? And
we always planned on this growth trajectory, right? So the plan of opening cities and opening more and using the money, that was always the plan. I was not interested, and I believe Nico the same, was running a food tour. It didn't seem very exciting. And when I quit my job to run a food tour, my parents weren't very impressed. They didn't know what one was, and they were kind of looking at us like, "Why would you quit your job?" What I tried to explain to them, and what me and Nico both understood, is we want to make a global food tour company, something very exciting, something that would be all over the place. Whether or not it'd be 70 cities or 7 cities, we didn't go that far, but we didn't know that the product would work in so many places. And here's the point. Everybody knew it would work in Paris, Rome, London, those key cities. But only when we started launching in places like Austin or Charleston or Bologna or these smaller cities, that's when we realized we're onto something.
Technology changed a lot in 10 years. And how we run the business now was impossible at the time, 10 years ago. So we will not be able to run the business like we do now 10 years ago. So at the time, I guess we were not thinking we can run everything remotely, which we do now. And lots of our management is done remotely with our management system. And that's because of technology.
Yeah.
and was that a COVID thing, do you think? Was that did a lot of that come out of?
Well, there's a few technology waves that helped us. The first is just the mobile phone, right? The cellular phone,
Right.
iPhone, having maps, finding us, because we before we would have needed a shop in order for people to meet us, but you could meet in a restaurant, they could find random restaurants. So that sort of internet technology, data roaming, all of that stuff helped us a lot. And then once we had COVID, I was trying to do virtual tours, made a bit of money on virtual tours. Nico built his own tech system, so he had time to build it. And it's pretty impressive. I mean, he spent like a year coding it. And when I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is really like a game changer. One of the reasons we make such good margin on our products is because we can manage things remotely. If we used to have managers in each city, now we have less managers because we have a tech system. I know it's not something that most people can do, and there isn't an off-the-shelf tech system that works just for food tours. I mean, there might be some programs that have some abilities that we can do, but to do everything that we wanted, it was better to build it ourselves, and luckily we have somebody that can do that, and it has definitely been a game changer.
You guys are talking about a tech system. Are you guys using AI? Because everyone's talking about AI now.
Well, I mean, it's a buzzword. When we first started, everyone talked about algorithms, so everyone's forgotten that one. When we first started, we were talking about how we had an algorithm to work out exactly where to go and what to launch. It wasn't an algorithm, it was us analyzing, right? So what exactly is AI? I don't know in every context whether people have the same definition of AI, whether it's just a chatbot or whether it's something a lot more complicated. Are we doing anything with AI other than analyzing data? I don't think so.
We don't have generative AI. We don't really use that, but we analyze data like a lot. And so we look at lots of data, and we do have some, you can call it AI stat reporting system.
Yeah.
I think I read that you do 250,000 customers a year approximately across your
Yeah,
city.
around about
I mean, that's
250 to 300,000
yeah.
customers.
So that's a lot of customers. So you
It's a lot
must
of
have
customers.
access to a lot of data. from that?
Yeah, we do. Obviously, it has to be. We're from the UK, so there's a thing called GDPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a compliance that you have to
Personal
do.
privacy.
Privacy.
Yeah.
So we can't. The data. We're not analyzing the data to, see where customers are going or what they're doing, because I don't think we're really allowed to do that. But yes, it's great to have that many customers, mainly because then they can refer us and it's repeat business. And the more customers we have, the more people that like the product, the more people that want to do the tour. So it's a snowball effect. So that's the main reason for customers. Could we be better at using data? Probably yes. But with restrictions on compliance, and also I think there is a feeling as well that customers are kind of being data mined to an extreme, and people kind of feel a bit suspicious. Like if you suddenly search for something on Google and then ads come up, people don't like that experience. So we're a bit wary of upsetting our customers, because our customers are so loyal and they really love our brand. We don't want to make them feel that they're just a commodity, and not it's a privilege that we have customers like that.
And so, speaking of data, or whether it's through data or through reviews, is there anything you've noticed over the years as you've expanded about how those customers have changed?
I mean, we can see that our customers are getting younger, and so I think that's quite interesting. And we can see that they used to be 40 plus years old. Now you can see it's getting younger. And when we look at the age range, like from 18 to 25, 25 to 35, etc., we can see we have the same level of people on every range of age. So really the food tour appeals to everyone. And the younger generation, they want experience. They want local experience. They don't want to buy things. They want souvenirs. So that's a great thing, I think, for the food tour industry.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot of repeat customers too? I mean, Janelle and I have been, together on 3 of your tours.
Yeah.
Janelle's been on a bunch of other
Did
ones
you enjoy
as
them?
well, and absolutely love them all.
Yeah.
I
mean,
always enjoy
food-
anything where food is involved.
You
That's
throw
the
in
point,
food,
right?
culture, history into yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, it's a no-brainer when you're a tourist, right? This is why we're so popular. Like, if you don't know the city, suddenly you're going to be introduced to where to eat, what not to eat, what's good value. You might not like everything, which most people like everything, but at least you get to try it and have a chance to try it without spending a lot of money on it. And you know what a good example of it. Plus, you get the history and the culture, so it really grounds you. And a lot of people do this tour on the first day. So I'd say most of our customers, we have at least 20% repeat rate. And most of our customers, they do it on the first day or so, and they love it because they learn so much. And the other reason people do the tour is because they get to speak to a local, understand how a local does stuff. So all our guides are local. So sometimes you just want to ask those silly questions. What do Italians eat every day? How do Japanese use chopsticks? Those questions are stuff that you wouldn't really feel comfortable maybe asking a random person. But when you're on a tour guide, you don't mind asking something a bit silly or a bit unusual. Or people just want to know about how they grew up. I mean, we often have guides tell about how their grandma would cook a certain dish, or their grandfather was the only person that was allowed to cut the ham on, and no one in their family could, and there was a very special moment for them. So people are not just getting insight into the local culture, they're getting insight into a person, and that's very, very special.
Yeah, the personal connections are really great. We did the Little Havana tour in Miami, and the tour guide there told us about his experience being in Cuba and having to leave Cuba and come to America, and all of the challenges that entailed, and just saw him as we went through Little Havana, the relationships that he'd built in the community with all the different people that were in that community. And because he is Cuban and that community is Little Havana, they're all former Cubans, just to see that interaction and really get a sense for how that community operates was really touching.
I think it is really an interesting point of how you keep it personal.
Yeah.
How do you scale? And you guys have scaled quite a bit, and you're keeping on growing. How do you scale and still make sure that you're keeping those types of personal interactions and that type of personalization as you grow?
Our guides are very proud of showing their culture, their city, and they're really passionate about not just food, but where they live, the people, the shop, the restaurants, and how people live in their city.
You got to understand, we are very sustainable as an operation because 40% or even a bit higher of the ticket price goes to the local community because we're buying food in local places
Right.
that never change. So the communities love us. So we've got stalls, small little stalls that weren't making much money, and we go there every day. And yes, we might not spend that much, might spend $5 in that place per person, but that's $50 a day. You times that by a year. I mean, sometimes we're, contributing to a huge chunk of their salary. And so we have huge respect in the areas that we go. Most of the suppliers that we have worked with us continuously. We've even helped promote brands and concepts that weren't even that famous. So, for instance, there was in Bread Ahead is a company in London that was very popular, but just in London, they had these kind of donuts, these amazing, huge, big, thick donuts. And that was one of our main dishes. And after so many people did that, they became very, very famous with those donuts. So we were ahead of the trend, helped to launch and support them with that. And that we feel very proud to be part of those sort of communities. The other way that we're scaling as well is acquisition. We haven't bought many companies, but we're very keen to look for more. Our whole remit is if you're a company that's making, let's say, 200 or 300,000 a year dollars, there aren't many people you can sell your company to. This is mainly food tours, but it could be other tours. You've got options. You could try and sell to private equity, but you're probably too small. You can maybe sell to your family or other guides, but normally what you're asking for is probably too much money for them. Maybe they're not passionate about it. So we're in a very unique position where we are interested in those companies that are making 200, 300, 400, up to $1 million. But we are able to give those people the exit and treat their business with respect and keep their brand and identity as well of their business. So it's something quite unique that we are interested in. And, it's something where if you are retired and you want to exit, your only options maybe is talking to someone like us because, other people, like I said, the friends and family route or the private equity are probably not going to be able to do that kind of exit. So it's something we're very keen to explore more. And one of the reasons we're here at Arival is to kind of look for those opportunities.
And so one of the things that you bring to that situation is your tech platform, the tools that you've built to help kind of automate and streamline a lot of those processes. So,
Exactly.
And also the Secret Food Tours brand.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can.
Yeah. And people know, we've got 50,000 five-star reviews. So people can respect our brand and they know that we're going to if we do buy their company, we know they're going to treat it with respect. Normally we would not get rid of that brand. We'd keep their brand and sell it separately and also sell it under Secret Food Tours website. If someone didn't want to do it like that, we're also okay just to sell it on Secret Food Tours. But I think most people want to keep their legacy. And because we are so passionate and respectful and we treat every community with respect and the guides, people are very happy to do it. It's not easy to buy other companies, but it's something that one of our growth options is that. The other growth option is just launching more cities. And as I said, we're launching 30 cities a year. And that's quite fast paced. One of the secrets to our operation is that we're able to launch that fast and grow that fast. And yeah, we're very excited for the future. We're very bullish, aren't we, on the market? Yeah.
What are you seeing for the future? Because you've talked about rapid growth and, the culinary sector in general seems to be expanding. Arival research is showing increased interest among travelers in these types of culinary experiences. So what are you seeing? What's your outlook for 2025 and beyond?
So like Oli said, we're going to grow organically. We are planning on launching 20 to 30 cities every year. Plus, we're launching new product in our existing cities. It can be a different area in the city. It can be a food tour with a theme like chocolate or wine or pizza. It really depends on the country. And external growth with acquisition of other food tours. We could be, we're looking at cooking classes as well. That's another vertical we are starting to look seriously. That could be as well organic growth or external if there are some cooking classes that maybe we can acquire. So we are quite open on how to grow and how to do it. we are flexible, and I think that's what we've been doing since the start 10 years ago. We are always very lean. We try new project. If it doesn't work, we move on and try something else.
Yeah.
But we always try to find the next thing, and we if we fail, that's perfectly fine. We move on and do something else.
Yeah.
Another secret that I want to highlight
I like it. All the
is
secrets.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really a secret, let's say, but we're it's like the fact that there's two of us. You know, there's lots of founders here that are very impressive, but there's just one of them.
Yeah.
You know, when there's two of us, particularly when we're relaunching after the pandemic. I mean, I was on 21 planes in a month. I was literally going on 2 planes a day trying to relaunch the city. But Nico was also doing the same thing. If it was just one of us, we wouldn't be able to relaunch so fast. If it was just one of us, he would build a tech system and I could do something else.
Yeah.
We work really well together. We don't always think the same, but we always come to the same conclusion. And when we don't, which is extremely rare, we know that there's something wrong here. So I really respect all of the owners and co-founders that it's just a one person, but being a co-founder, that gives us a real edge. Now, when you don't have a good business partner, of course, that is terrible. But when you have a great business partner, like I think we have a great partnership, it allows us to exponentially grow. And like little things, if I'm sick or I'm nervous about a certain idea or concept, I have someone to back me up or check or whatever, and we have vice versa.
Yeah.
So do you have a food metaphor for that? You guys go together like pancakes and maple syrup?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, he's French and I'm English, so we really don't have a good food metaphor. I mean, I guess like croissants and fish and chips, but you know, they don't quite go together. But separately, we have our own little ways of doing it. So you know.
Okay. Do you have a favorite food tour?
No, we're not allowed to say.
You're not. Okay, not allowed. He's like, don't say it.
No,
You like them all.
no, I don't have a. No, it's very difficult. And how can you compare like Italian food with food you're gonna get in Chicago or Miami, and so it's or in Asia? It's impossible to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very individualistic. We like to surprise people. We like people who think the food's not going to be like this and it's going to be different, or they learn something new or something exciting.
Yeah, one thing I really love about our business is when we have friends going to London or USA, and they are just blown away with the tour and the food, and they don't expect the food to be that good, and we change their mind. They're like, okay, and that's really like thinking that's where.
Yeah, we tried haggis.
Haggis is
Yes.
great.
Edinburgh. I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I've not.
I've
ever
had
really heard
haggis
good
before.
things about haggis.
Yeah. You'd never had
I've
haggis.
never had haggis.
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm usually up for trying new foods. I'm really nervous about trying
Yeah.
haggis.
I had haggis before, and the haggis that I had was not great haggis. Like it was gray, very. Ugh. The haggis we had in Edinburgh at the tavern was phenomenal.
'Cause that's
It
the whole
was
point,
so
really.
good.
So good.
Like fish and chips is a good example. Lots of people, they eat fish and chips in London, but they eat it in a pub, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably frozen. We take people to a fish and chip shop where it's one of the oldest fish and chip shops in the world, award-winning. There is a big difference there. Haggis, another example.
Yeah.
You know, there's tourist trap haggis, which is not very good, and there's real, authentic, high-quality ingredients, and you can seriously taste the difference. And I agree
Yeah.
with you. Haggis, I don't even think we put haggis on I think that's our secret dish. If
Yes,
I can remember
yes.
right,
So-
because we don't want people. No, but I mean, we
gave away the
no, but the reason we put haggis as a secret dish is because a lot of people would be put off eating it. So we don't want people to feel forced into eating it. And actually, there is a vegan, vegetarian option as well of a haggis if you don't want the meat. But when we do present it to them and they can see it looks delicious and it smells delicious, and once one person tries it, everyone does.
Yeah.
And so hence why we kind of reveal it in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I need to do
Patties.
the Edinburgh tour. I haven't done it yet. So
Yeah.
I guess.
It's phenomenal. And the guide there was again amazing. Yeah. Really, really great.
So I
Had
want to
such
ask
a good conversation.
before, yeah, definitely. I want to ask before we finish up here. You have a lot of experience now opening in new places and doing a lot of different types of food tours. And I love that you mentioned the metaphor of the pie and how the pie is getting bigger. So it's not just you. You're not taking over all the food tours. There's a lot of other tour operators out there who are really passionate about what they do. They may or may not be interested in growth. But do you have any advice or tips or learnings that you could share with other people who are in this sector?
I think they need to understand, first of all, do they want to grow or not, right? If they want to keep a small local tour, that's fine. And I think the passion will come through, and it's just about getting reviews and building up customer base. If you want to grow and grow this business, there is plenty of options to do it. I wouldn't say it's easy. We did have to reinvest most of our money for a good couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, all of the profit we made to grow. So you need to know that that's the path you want to take, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. But if you are, then maybe in a couple of years you will have something significant that could be sellable, or you could have something that is generating a lot of profit. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I would say it's very rewarding. And for anyone who does already do a food tour, I think it's great. And please continue doing a great job because, like I said, the pie gets bigger and we all profit in the long run.
Yeah, we see lots of people who do one food tour, and once they do one, they come back to us or to another food tour operator. So the more people start doing food tours, the more food tours they're gonna do, and the better it is for everyone.
What's your secret for reviews? Because you've mentioned reviews a couple times, how many 5-star reviews you have. Can you share how you
Yeah.
encourage people to give reviews? Because that's a tough one. How do we get reviews? How do we encourage people to actually do them?
The best guides get the guides that get the most reviews get a prize at the end of the year, and some of them get quite competitive. So we incentivize them with like a prize for the winning guides, the winning cities. We make sure that if we have a complaint, it's dealt with really quickly. Our customers, most of the time, will email us if there's a complaint. And we, 99% of the time, we will refund them, even if we think the complaint isn't that fair, because we, at the end of the day, we believe that if the customer didn't like our product, then fair enough, then we'll refund you. So that's probably stopped us getting some bad reviews. And at the end of the day, sometimes we've refunded people and they've actually then become a really loyal customer. And then other than that, we've just got a lot of customers. I mean, we got 300,000 a year, be going more than 10 years. So that allows us to build up a lot of reviews. And I think we always recognize the importance of reviews from day one. Some people maybe didn't understand that, but for us, yes, we can hear word of mouth that our tours are great. And I'm sure you told people that you had a great time. But at the end of the day, they're always going to look at reviews. And the cities that have the most reviews, we're really proud, actually. This week, we're actually the #1 rated activity in all of New York. Our Secret Food Tours New York is the #1 in not food, in all activities. There's 1,600 activities. I believe that's even beating the Empire State Building and Statue of Liberty.
Oh, wow.
Someone showed me that yesterday. I wasn't aware that was the case, but yeah, so that's taken us 10 years to get. It's not something that you get overnight, but
Congratulations for
consistent-
taking over New York.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're very proud of that one.
Yeah. So I think we've learned a few secrets about secret food tours on this. And, certainly the listeners will enjoy your story, and thank you for sharing it with us. Really appreciate that, and enjoy the rest of your Arival experience.
And we just like to say that we think Arival is extremely valuable. Like, we've come here for a number of years, and for us, we've always consistently met interesting people that aren't necessarily in our sector, but they have ideas to share.
Yeah.
And we really applaud that you guys do stuff like this, because we're learning, and hopefully we can teach some people a few things as well.
Yeah.
Last question. You wouldn't tell us your secret tour, I understand, or your favorite tour. I understand you can't play favorites, but favorite food, surely.
I've always liked spicy food and Asian food, so my favorite is Thai food, and it's so varied. If anyone's ever been to Thailand, you can get the best dish for $1 in the street, and there is literally the most wealth of food in every location. And you?
I love ceviche. I'm obsessed with ceviche.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite food. Like, I love it.
How about you?
Oh, mine. It's an Indonesian comfort food. It's rendang. It's a coconut beef stew. That is.
Wow.
I love rendang. Yeah.
I'm not sure I've had that. That sounds interesting.
Oh well, we'll have to. We'll have to, since you like spicy food.
Yeah. And you?
It's a tie between like seafood in general, scallops and prawns in particular, or mango sticky rice. You
Oh
mentioned
no,
Thailand,
mango
and I
sticky
was
rice.
like,
You're obsessed with it.
mango. I
You're
am.
gonna-
I am
You
obsessed.
are
with
obsessed
mango
with it.
sticky. Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a dessert, but it also feels healthy, even though I'm not sure it is. But in your
It's
mind,
totally healthy.
With all the
your mind
all
is
Like
the
when you put
syrup on there.
zucchini and chocolate chip muffins. Like it's
Yeah.
healthy.
It's
Yeah.
like carrot cake.
yeah, carrot.
It's the carrot cake of Asian desserts.
There you go. Okay, well, thank you guys both so much for joining us here, and we'll see you next time.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, what stood out to you from that conversation?
Coming from a technology background, obviously I'm always attuned to the technology piece of it. And what's really interesting is they talked about how as co-founders, they each have their strengths. And Nico is very much a technologist and was able to build a platform for them that allowed them to scale. And the fact that they couldn't find an off-the-shelf solution that fit all of their requirements in terms of managing guides and
Yeah.
scheduling and reviews and all of those logistics pieces that needed to exist. And that's fair. Not all, there's a lot of solutions that are available, but in a case like Secret Food Tours, where they're scaling very fast and they've got a very different model from a traditional tour operator, sometimes you just have to build it yourself. And clearly, when you've got somebody as talented as Nico building out the tech, you have the ability to then leverage that technology and really scale very quickly. And that's what they've been able to do. So I think the lesson there for other operators is that if you are something like a Secret Food Tours, you may have to look to build something for yourself. But if you're a more traditional single operation, that there are lots of tools out there that you can use and find the ones that really fit best for your business. Because if you don't have that technical co-founder, just know that there are pre-built tools out there that you could leverage in order to give you that leg up when you do need to scale and grow your business.
Yeah, that's interesting. The technology side of it, I hadn't really thought about because I saw this from totally the other side, which is, I guess, my tour guide background, thinking about building these new tours in new places. And Nico talked about the tour that they did in Paris, which is so quintessentially Paris. You go and you buy your bread and your meat and your cheese, and then you find a nice place to eat it. And it's like that experience is so Paris, but you couldn't just copy that formula and put it in other places. Because what would you do in Vancouver? Go to the grocery store and then it doesn't work the same. So
Yeah,
I thought the aspect of localization and how they work with local people each time they expand to a new location was really interesting. And regardless of whether you're doing food tour or some other kind of tour, if you want to build a multi-location company, that localization piece is so important. And it goes back to one of the things that I was talking to Kyra from Devour Tours. One of the things she said really stuck out to me is that stuff that feels everyday to us is like a revelation for people. So when you're thinking about your location, what's unique about your location, or whatever the new location is for your company, it might seem totally normal to you, but you have to think about it from the eyes of a newcomer. What's unique about this place? And it also reminded me of a conversation I had recently with Dave Stevenson, who's the Airbnb chief business officer. We were talking about Airbnb's experience relaunch, and I asked him what makes a successful experience. When you look for new experiences to bring on the platform, what are you looking for? And he said, you need to figure out what makes your location unique. What's something that's special about your location, your place, and the experience you want to offer has to be connected to something about that if you want it to really do well. And this works in other categories as well. It's not just food, obviously. Kayak tours are kayak tours everywhere, but if you do a kayak tour, I did a kayak tour in Australia and there were dolphins like just swimming around, showing off. And that's a unique aspect of it. That the kayak tour I did in Sweden, there were no dolphins, but we got to kayak on ice. And of course, we finished with sauna. So those are the things that made those experiences unique in those different locations, totally different companies in that case. Yeah.
And it goes back to what we talked about before the interview as well, where we talked about what are people looking for when they book these experiences, when they go on these experiences, is that cultural component, right?
Yeah.
They want to learn a little bit more about the culture and the place through food or through a specific activity, right? Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be food, but food is something that, like you said, everybody has to eat, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well enjoy it. Something I learned very recently, I was talking to some data analysts from MasterCard, and we were talking about the vast amounts of data that they have access to, that we're like, what are some interesting tidbits that you could share? And both the examples that they gave me were food related. So the first one, yeah, not surprising. So the first one they told me, and this was just based on New York City, right, as a destination, is that Swiss people, when they go to New York City, they go to steakhouses.
Okay.
The Swiss love to go to steakhouses in New York City. So hello, idea for a food tour for Swiss travelers, right? The second one was Italians. When they go to New York City, they love to eat American fast food. And we're like, why?
What, like Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, Dunkin' Donuts, all of it. That to them, because they don't have that in Italy. Those brands don't exist in a lot of places outside of North America. And so to them, that is a cultural experience. Like fast food is like quintessentially American. So hello, an idea for if you're, a lot of your customers are Italian inbound travelers to New York City, they love fast food. Create a fast food tour for them, right?
Fast food tour. You don't have to run.
Right? You don't have to run. The food is fast, the tour is not. But just some really interesting examples of when you're thinking about a place, it also depends on who your target audience is, right? So if you know your customers, when they're coming to a destination, are going to be looking for particular things. And that's where things like data really comes in. That's where research, like the research that Arival does and other companies do, really allows you to inform your decision-making in terms of product development and stuff like that. So I just find that stuff so fascinating.
Yeah. And one of the recent reports from Arival about experiences traveler. So the latest consumer research that we have talking about, there's one about the US experiences traveler, and then there's one about the European experiences traveler that breaks preferences down by country. And it's really interesting to see what's different by the different countries. So we can drop that link in the show notes as well. So I guess just to close off, one of the things that stood out to me from the interview, the conversation with Ollie and Nico, was their mentality of how it's this rising tide lifts all ships mentality. They were like, yes, we are a growing, expanding tour company. Yes, we are expanding to new locations, but no, we don't need to own food tourism. We're very happy to support other companies that are also growing in food tourism, because basically the more people who know about food tours, the more people who are going to take food tours in different places and maybe with different companies. So it's almost like building the category awareness helps to lift everyone up in the sector. So I thought that was a kind of, maybe that's a nice note to end on, is that the growth of this sector is going to benefit everyone in it. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And my final note is, did you notice the socks? You were wearing your ducky socks.
I was.
And I was wearing
and you
Star
were wearing
Wars
your
socks.
Star Wars socks. Just
so
circling back to that
Circling
conversation.
Back to episode 1.
In the first episode. Yeah. Yeah.
So wear your fancy socks, people. You'll get better coverage.
And eat delicious things along the way.
Eat delicious things. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Try new things. So anyway, that is the end of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And please go to the Arival website, become an Insider Pro, and you'll get access to all kinds of amazing research and content from Arival events. And we'll see you next time on another episode of The Best Part of Travel.
And don't forget to follow our podcast.
Oh, yes. And don't forget to follow the podcast.
Okay.
Thanks, Janelle.
Thanks, Steven.